Here it is, the season finale of the Lokar Car Show, where we review the top picks from the past 12 weeks to determine the Lokar pick of the year. Will it be a muscle car, a truck, an import, a street machine, a race car? Stay tuned.
Now this is a little bit of an unusual street rod. It's a convertible. Look at that paint. Boy, what a color on that. But take a look under the hood, folks. Most everybody puts a small block Chevy in their Ford, which is really kind of sacrilege. I mean, it's a Ford. So Bob McCary decided to put a...
So 429 Ford has started life as a Cobra Jet, 370 horse motor. And it's been tweaked a little bit. It's got aluminum heads, 2 4s. Comp cam, valve train, and lifters, and push rods, and roller rockers, and all those goody things.
Whoa, making a lot of horsepower.
Yeah, it makes a little more than 370 now. I've owned the car 51 years. I bought it when I was 15 years old out of a barn in Clanton, Alabama, from a high school buddy. He was at his grandmother's farm and paid him $35 for it.
And then you made it into a gasser.
Yeah, we put a little 354 Hemi in it, and the last time I had the Hemi in it, it had 6 deuces, and it had a Grand flamethrower ignition with the 2 coils because I thought that looked cool. It had a Lincoln Zephyr transmission with a 48 truck rear end, and it was jacked up in the air, looking bad, you know.
Like a gasser.
And it would scare you to death.
In the 60s.
Oh, yeah.
And then you grew up and decided to make a street rod.
I quit drag racing and got married, and drag racing was a little too expensive, so I started street rodding. In fact, it was the first house that we ever bought. Before we moved into it, I had a 23T Roadster in the basement. My wife, bless her heart, she loves the old cars too, and she loves the street rods, and she really likes this car.
He was pointing out to me, 41 is the only year they did what with the grills?
They made 3 distinctly separate grills. 40 is 1 grill, 39 is 1 grill.
Now remember that, that's the way you can tell a 1941.
Just as I promised you, the Mustang, but not any Mustang, the Boss. But which one? Well, that's what we're trying to figure out, because Rick and Lisa Johnson from Salt Lake City have really brought a showstopper here. When you look at the power plant, you got to realize that is a Windsor, which never was a Boss motor. It started out as a 351 Windsor that was stroked to a 427 and supercharged. Couple that up with a 6-speed Tremec, and then you got all kinds of fun as far as the horsepower and the driveline goes. But the thing that really caught my eye is that you can see that the headlight wells were reflected and mirrored actually to the inside, to the center line of the front of this machine. And you can also see that this bar here, which not only has a great look to it, almost reminiscent of the Chevron that you might find on maybe a Corvair, it actually maybe does a functional duty of replacing where the radiator brace used to be. Beautiful shaker hood, beautiful paint job, nice chrome accents, and a lot of people notice the exhaust here, very impressive. To the interior you move and you find the gauge pods reminiscent of an older time, as is that flaming river steering column. And the rear seat gone and replaced with another artistic creation that really makes for a great accent to the back end of the machine. So when you move to the back here, you can see more great metalwork. You can see where the rear has been extended beyond what used to be the factory tail of the car, and you can even see more bodywork done to recess the bumper into the body. So lots of cutting, lots of pasting, lots of beauty, lots of care. And when you find well-appointed cars like this at Super Summit, it really makes the whole day worthwhile. Did I ever find a truck, a 1967 Ford F100? But I bet you've never found one with this much horsepower, 1,100 ponies, almost 6 liters of displacement here in this supercharged machine that has been completely done by Wes from the ground up. Why?
I just wanted to have something really wild to get a lot of attention from my custom paint shop in Dover, Ohio. There's no better advertisement than actually showing people what you can do. My theory with this was just make it loud enough and bright enough that people have to look whether they want to or not.
Some people might think it's an unusual choice, a 67 F100, huh?
This would be my 3rd F-Series pickup truck from 67 to 68. Just always liked the trucks, liked how they drove, and I wanted something that had some suicide doors on it. I wanted something that had a blower. I wanted something that was loud and just a pretty color, and I always liked blue, so I did the candy blue. But other than that, I mean, it's pretty much everything I ever wanted in a hot rod. It's just bad.
You don't have to look too far to realize it's set up for the track.
Yeah, we've had it on the track a few times. Unfortunately, I don't have any accurate numbers because I've never been brave enough to run it all the way out. It is on an air suspension. I've never really seen anybody try and harness this kind of horsepower on an air suspension. So far, we haven't got out of the 9s yet with it, but I'm thinking if I get brave enough, we'll get her in the 8s.
Can you tell me how fun it is?
It is a blast. And my daughters, they love it.
Nice detail and appointments on the interior, especially molding the dash into the roll bar.
Yeah, that was a touch that I just wanted to have something really clean looking in there, and we incorporated the odometer gauges and stuff down in there also.
Take a look down here. The nitrous purge comes out of the nose of the skull, which of course has the flashing LEDs. And you notice maybe these stickers that you can get that have these bullet holes. Well, if you look closely, you can see that they really are real bullet holes. Legend has it that one day in the shop, 44 Magnum with special slugs was fired into the body panels. And not just for show, they go all the way through, proving that this is tough to the last detail.
This edition of the Lokar Car Show is being brought to you by Lokar Performance Products. Quality, plain and simple. ARP, the world leader in fastener technology. Custom Auto Sound, the originator of classic car OEM fit radios since 1977. Ecological, exceptional eco-friendly automotive accessories. And by Stage 8, the world's best locking fastener.
Something that caught my eye right away. This 1940s Willys, one beautiful paint job here. And of course, I fell in love with what's under the hood here as well. First of all, this is a PPG color.
Yes.
What is this color? Because it looks like it's got a lot of metal flake in here.
Started out as Viper yellow, and then we added all the PPG pearls and diamond to it, just to get our own taste to it.
You know, there's a lot of work here on the front of this with all the flames. Who did that for you?
Crazy Horse Painting in North Carolina, a girl, does motorcycles. This is the second car she did.
And what do you have under hood here?
This is a small block Chevy 383 stroker, blown and Kinsler fuel injected, about 600 horsepower on dyno with automatic.
Really? Now, do you drive this? Do you trailer it?
Average about between 1,000 and 1,500 miles a year.
What would you say would be your favorite thing about this particular car? If you could just name one.
I just like the way it is. I just always like the Willys.
Do you have any other plans for the car? Because usually they're always a work in progress of some kind.
Not too much. I've had it for 10 years, and I think it's just about done.
Just getting a chance to get out and enjoy events like this.
Just enjoy it and let other people see it, and just get together with other people, that's all.
Well, Kathy, you want unusual cars? I'll give you an unusual car. How many of you know what that is? Look again. No, it's not a Cord. Designed by the same guy that designed the Cord. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a Graham. To be exact, a 1939 Graham. Did you know they made something this gorgeous back in 1939? And I like the color combination. I'm not sure where that particular color came from, if it's stock or not, but it really goes very well together.
Well, that's one of the hardest things to do in a car is to pick out colors. And at the time that we were finishing this, Cadillac had a white diamonds color, which was what you're looking at here. And we actually doctored that up with some red pearl to pick up the copper. And those are the two colors that I was after, and that was after doing 10, 12 colors.
Look at the chrome windshield wipers right here, and notice the windshield comes to a peak. Now, I doubt if Graham put a sunroof in it back in 1939. Look at this gorgeous supple leather. Look at that really nice console. I think he probably took that out of something. I'm not sure exactly what. And I see some controls right there for an air ride suspension.
This is sitting on a Crown Victoria chassis, and just before we finished it, we elected to go to a complete Lincoln modular drivetrain.
Got a nice looking rear seat, a lot of wood touches right in here.
Nothing on the interior is Graham. Seats cut down, fabrication to make the back seat, consoles were all made. The sculpturing on the doors, that's all completely different. A fellow that did it for me, a good friend of mine, he told me that was the hardest interior he had done in 30 years.
Look at the shape of this handle. Talk about something extremely custom looking. Nice running boards right here. Take a look at the taillights up here, not clear down here on the back. This car has a look all its own. I like the 40 Ford looking double rear glass back there. 1939 Graham. Kathy, you can hunt all over and you won't find another one of these here at Good Guys. Gorgeous Mustang with a 5.0 engine in it. Look at the custom flame job. A lot of spit and polish right here, chrome and everything shined out. But the thing that really draws your attention to this are the unusual number of lights.
Lights are located everywhere on this car. It's inside the rims, inside the speakers, underneath the engine. Everywhere you imagine there could be a light, there's going to be a light.
Can you control them?
I control them Wi-Fi. I can be on my telephone, and from about 300 feet, I can change them any color you want.
Now, he's done a lot of work to make this engine pretty, but I think he's also done a lot of work to make it have a lot of power, too.
We went with American Carcraft. They installed it. As you can see, it's just one bad machine. And it's had also pro dyno. It's just been taken care of.
Now, your wife has one, too. Who had the first one?
I did.
Actually, he got it because I was wanting it first, and he beat me to the punch.
Then inside right here, I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like this. And of course, it's lighted. Look at those brake calipers right there, and take a look at those custom wheels. Take a look right here at the liner for the deck lid, and then down here, the stereo and the special treatment he had. He carried the flames from the front to the back. Now, this car is so gorgeous, you know that he has to trailer this car. Maybe.
Oh, no, sir. This is a daily driver. None of this sitting in the garage, just keep dust. This is here, gets in the mud, gravel. That's what we do.
I bet he keeps it parked in a really nice garage.
Don't have a garage. We just sit out there underneath the tree. How about that?
Here's a beautiful 1967 Camaro. Now, this time I'm going to look under the hood. It's a 67. The base engine in the 67 was a 327, okay? So what has he got under here? Whoops! What happened there?
It's a 500 horsepower LS3.
500 horsepower?
Yes, sir.
That's more than a 327 made, huh?
A little bit.
Yeah. Did it go pretty good?
You know, I hadn't got on it all the way yet. Only got a couple hundred miles on it, but so far, so good.
Yes, but you have to turn the tires.
Yes, sir.
You got to do that.
Yes, sir, you got to.
Absolutely gorgeous. What else have you done to the car?
It's got all custom interior, all custom suspension, got a Heights front end, Detroit Speed rear, been mini tub, and trim at 6-speed.
It's a real street machine.
Yes, sir.
Is it for sale?
Not a chance.
Come on.
Had it too long, since I was 14.
No.
Right.
So you had the original engine, original car?
Not the original engine, but I had the car since I was 14. My dad bought it for me. I drove it all through high school and started racing it for a while. Then 4 years ago, we tore it down and did this to it. So.
Well, you can still race it.
Oh, yeah. It's probably faster than it was before it was a race car. So.
But, boy, it'd be a shame to put this on a drag strip or something. Oh, this paint is gorgeous. What is it?
It's House of Color Candy.
Looks like completely put a custom interior in this. He didn't just stop at the engine compartment and everything he was telling us about. Custom gauges right there. He's completely redid the dash. I mean, this baby is one sweet ride. Boy, here is a beautiful restoration of a 1964 Chevrolet Impala Super Sport. Now, you know, the deceiving thing about the Super Sport is you didn't have to have a big motor. The Super Sport, you got a console with bucket seats. Of course, you probably wanted to have a 4-speed. Wasn't required, okay, with that horrible Muncie shifter, but this is a stock restoration, okay? First thing most people did is take that Muncie shifter out, put a Hurst shifter in there. It'll work much better. Did you see the auxiliary gauges he's put underneath the radio right there? Notice that's an AM radio. These seats look like the original seats. I mean, this restoration is totally complete. What a job this guy did on this. Some of the new items he's listing off: new interior, new brake system, new moldings, a windshield, new rear bumper, new tires, new weather stripping, new tachometer, new radiator, new clutch and pressure plate and throwout bearing, new rear shocks, completely new exhaust system, new taillights, inside door and window handles, all replaced on this car. It's a brand new car, folks. Here's the motor, okay? No, it's not a 409. Oh, I wish it was. I wish it was a 409. Now, that would be my kind of car. This is the standard engine, the small block Chevy that came in them. But the good gas mileage in this would make a great cruising car. And I don't care what you say, the 64 Chevy really looks nice. Gorgeous restoration job on a 1964 Chevrolet.
This week's Low Car Lowdown, we're going below the carburetor, Brian, and a product that actually got its start drag racing.
Skip Walls, the founder of the company and our main man there, has drag raced for many years, and we've developed some parts that we've sold to the drag race exclusive market that we've kind of taken away from that. We use a plate that we make for the 4500 series or Dominator series carburetors. We wanted to adapt it to the street. We think it's a really cool product, and we came up with this 4150 series carburetor carb plate.
Man, this is one solid piece here, and the way this is constructed, this baby ain't going nowhere.
No, it's not going to go anywhere. It's important, especially for street cars that run in the later model AOD type transmissions, a Ford AOD or a 700 R4. This holds your kickdown cable where it's not going to move. You have no worries on that.
And you don't have to use that part if you don't need it.
No, it'll come with both. If you've got a standard shift car, a 5 or 6 speed or 4 speed car, you don't have to have it. We include the bracket, but you don't have to use it. It's set up to work either way, and you can get it in a Midnight series or you can get it in our brushed finish.
And Brian, one of the really cool things about this plate, which adds a safety aspect to it, are the dual springs.
Yes, they're stainless steel, and it does add quite a safety feature to the product.
And of course, it just matches everything else and just looks great. And lifetime warranty, as you're always going to get from the folks at Lokar. Made in the USA. They're celebrating their 25th anniversary, and you want to find out all the great parts that they have and the reasons why they've been around so long? All you got to do is go to their website, lokar.com, or like them on Facebook.
The venerable English Ford Anglia, a 4-cylinder economy car, seated 4 human beings when it was originally produced in the United Kingdom as late as the 1960s. But it's the 1948 version that has been a mainstay with drag racing fans for decades. Here is Charles Hammack's absolutely magnificent street version. You can see the obvious race car heritage with a full tube chassis, full cockpit instrumentation and safety equipment, and of course, massive rubber and even wheelie bars. But the difference? This one's completely streetable with absolutely magnificent multi-layer paint, some tremendous fiberglass work done, including the fairing in of the headlights on the front fenders. This is one of the best examples of both show and go Anglia we've ever seen.
This edition of the Lokar Car Show is being brought to you by Lokar Performance Products. Quality plain and simple. Flowmaster, the exhaust technology company. Extreme Gate, are you ready to take your truck to the extreme? Iron Cross Automotive, American-made step products and bumpers. And by B&M Performance, quality performance products that work.
Hi, I'm Kathy Fisher, and we are about to show you all kinds of very interesting, neat vehicles, cars, trucks, you name it. That's what SEMA is all about. We're going to start off right here with this 1967 Karmann Ghia. Now, this car is built on a Volkswagen chassis. And of course, this would have been a rear engine car. What you see up here, that wasn't there to start with. This has taken quite a bit of engineering because what you're seeing in here, this is a Viper motor, V10, 650 horsepower. The inside, they have done all kinds of great things to really modernize this car. And this car just looks like it would be a ton of fun to drive with all that horsepower. Telling you what, you just have some of the most beautiful designs. You, I think, have almost outdone yourself right here.
Well, I've been very fortunate to have some great clients that let me get creative. So this car has just absolutely been one of our very favorites. It's a beautiful 1965 Galaxie. It was actually in pretty decent shape. It was a white car, white top, red interior, and I wanted to play off of like a 60s theme of like the race jackets. They had the stripe down one side. I just had this burning, and this car showed up at my shop with a good client of mine, John Walker, and he says, "Dave, what do you think?" And I said, "I think that we need to change the chassis out. Let's make this thing a real rod and can get down the road, go around corners, but still look classic and have a nice theme." So he really let me get creative with it. I really appreciate that.
How about the motor under here?
The motor is intended to trick everybody. It's actually a brand new Coyote 5.0 with an Edelbrock E4 supercharger, but what gives it a unique look is we've used Troy Ladd from Hollywood Hot Rods adapters to basically put the coils underneath the valve covers, which are the old Cammers. So a lot of the old time guys look at this and, "Now, where'd you get that intake for that Cammer motor?" It's like, well, that's not a 427 Cammer, that's a 5.0. Huh?
I love your invention, and when it comes to the door handles, you've got them integrated into this car too.
Thank you. Yeah, this is actually one of our new styles. You have that classic chrome look, but it's smooth and shaved like most customs need to be.
would you say was your biggest challenge on this car?
Definitely fitting the chassis underneath it, getting the tubs to fit, making sure that the back seat still fits, and John is 6'7". That front seat actually rolls all the way back to the back seat so that you can fit in the car comfortably. You could say it was a tall order.
I like that. Well, award-winning cars. What was the award you guys picked up?
We picked up a Ford Design Award for 2013. It was very much an honor.
One of the most popular cars that you're going to see anywhere, whether it's a car show or the drag strip or whatever, is going to be a 1969 Chevy Camaro. You would think sometimes you've seen them all. Oh, no, you haven't. And Mark, you've done some really cool things to yours here. And the first thing I notice is how smooth the car looks.
Yeah, we built this car in my buddy's garage, Mike Ramsey. We cut all the drip rails out, pulled all the markers out of it. We cut all the bracing out underneath the hood. And we just wanted it smooth, and then we're trying to figure out how to paint it. It took us like 3 years to do the body work on it.
Something looks different with the rear window, too.
Yeah, they're the flush mount windows also on the front and the rear, on the windshield and the back window.
Well, up in front of that 502, the grille, the whole underneath and the front and the bumper, I mean, you've done a whole lot of stuff up there.
Yeah, we built a grille for underneath it to get some cold air up into the engine better. The marker lights are moved out on it. And then we custom fit in the bumper to put the bumper on there just to make it all look clean and smooth.
I can't figure out what's going on with the dash. I mean, it's like, it looks like it's paint, but it kind of has a different feel to it. What is that?
Yeah, it's a PPG soft seal paint that we put on it. It's actually, Marquez Design makes an interior kit. We bought that, it's fiberglass, and we put it all in and then found that paint that really matches the leather and looks great. I love electronics. It's got power windows, power door locks, DVD player, bi-level control AC, and then you can see the gauges, and it really makes the console look good.
The wheels really go well with it. What did you end up sticking under here?
Oh, we got a DSE Quadrolink suspension in it, front, and we got the DSE front suspension also. It's got the Budnik 430 rims and some Bear brakes.
Anything else you're thinking about doing to this car?
No, I don't think so, actually. It's pretty close to where we wanted it, so I think we're going to keep it like it is and just now drive it and enjoy it.
And now, the low car pick of the year, Keith Goggins' amazing Viper-powered Volkswagen. A project so audacious, it took not one, but two rod shops to complete it.